Welcome back to Simming History, where we look at the history of architecture through the lens of The Sims. Right now, it's December, which means for YouTube, it's Vlogmas. We're going to do our own version, with videos every week during December, alternating between historic and fun builds. This week is a fun build. We're building the home from the 1990s sitcom Boy Meets World. So last time we did this, I built the Golden Girls house. These two shows and sets are similar. Boy Meets World, for those who didn't grow up in the 90s in the US, was a sitcom on ABC as part of their TGIF lineup, or thank goodness it's Friday. And like the Golden Girls house, the set doesn't make total sense, though it's certainly not the worst. I'm looking at you, Family Matters. Right now, a rewatch podcast hosted by three members of the cast, writer Danielle and Will, who played the best friend, the girlfriend, and the brother, has really brought up the inconsistencies with the set, and for a while debated side yard versus backyard, which will make sense shortly. Today, not only are we answering that definitively, but we're going to talk about how that's not actually the biggest issue with this set. To start with, we only see 3 rooms during the show: the living room, the kitchen, and the brother's bedroom. The living room and kitchen are connected. The living room has a door to the left that acts as the front door, a French door in the back, and an opening to the right that leads into the kitchen. It also has a stair in the back left corner. Speaking architecturally, this is a weird spot to put a staircase, but it's almost universally where you find them on TV sets, and I've noticed a lot of theater sets. The kitchen has an exterior door to the right and a stair in the back. Because of the location of the front door in the living room, it would be reasonable to infer the kitchen exterior door is the back door and that the yard behind that is the backyard, except for a few things. Where do the French doors in the living room go? The yard is very narrow and immediately abuts the neighbor's house, and his yard is very narrow, which is not the typical suburban backyard layout. During scenes set in the yard, the backdrop is clearly of a treed lot, and not a street or another house. And finally, backyard does not align with the exterior shots. We do have the front elevation of the house, and from various camera pans, we know that this is the living room, this is the kitchen, and this is the brother's bedroom. That means the front of the house is the 4th wall, occupied by the audience, the viewer, and the camera, which means the kitchen door and yard beyond is the side of the house. The French doors in the living room, they go to the backyard, and that living room door is not the front door. You have to have a front door in a set. You can't just have people walk on stage without properly entering. Viewers wouldn't know if they had come in a door or if they had just always been there, lurking silently in the background. Luckily, we have an architectural solution to all of this. So, it's a side yard, but there are still questions. In the actual set, the kitchen has an angled wall at the corner with a window. This is visible in the yard set, and the wall continues behind it. However, this means the back stairs go where exactly? This recess of the exterior wall would mean that the stair would end at an exterior wall. Not possible, or at least not usable. So that jog, we're gonna have to ignore it. One of the leaps of faith that is required with TV sets. Otherwise, this yard, fairly standard fare. There's a multi-level porch, a brick path that seems to lead towards the back, and a tree with a treehouse in it that you can climb into said tree from the boys' bedroom directly above the kitchen. and of course, the white picket fence across from which they frequently have chats with their beloved neighbor, Mr. Feeney. I love Mr. Feeney. In another shot later in the series, we see a garage where the boys are playing basketball. This garage is very clearly borrowed from another set because it doesn't even match remotely the architecture of the house, but I propose another leap of faith. That the garage is on the left-hand side of the house, that the living room door is actually a side door to the driveway, which is used by the family and their friends as the main entrance. I don't know about everywhere else in the US, but here in the Midwest, that's pretty common. And that there's a pathway running around the back of the house to the kitchen door. This would allow you to bring things directly into the kitchen rather than tracking it through the front rooms. It would also explain why, when Corey's grandma visits, played by none other than Rue McClanahan, who played Blanche in The Golden Girls, it's all connected, she can exit through the living room door and the kitchen door in either direction and get to her car on the driveway. For me, side yard versus backyard was never a debate. The answer was very clearly side yard. The real debate is in regards to that back stair in the kitchen. Where does it go? The boys' room, which is directly above the kitchen, has 3 doors in the back of the room. One to the main hallway, where the rest of the family's bedrooms presumably are located. One to a closet, where Sean hides in one episode. And one to a bathroom? In one episode, their kid sister is brought into their room for bath time. But I ask you, what house has the only bathroom accessible through just one of the bedrooms? And if that's a bathroom, where do the stairs go? It doesn't make sense. This is the real conundrum of this set. From an architect's standpoint, I propose this solution. The 3rd floor goes to the back stair, which you do see with homes that have a back room that can operate as a loft or bedroom. The family's bathroom is in the hallway, despite the fact you can very clearly see it in the set. We're just going to ignore that. Just ignore that. But what do you think? Did I get the garage location right? And most importantly, back stair or bathroom? So thanks for joining me today for the Boy Meets World Pop Culture Build. If you haven't seen the show, go check it out. If you haven't listened to the podcast, go check it out. If by random chance you happen to be the host of that podcast, hey, big fan. Until next time, you can find me on Instagram at Simming History or in the Sims 4 gallery at Simming History with playable versions of this and many other builds from this channel. Thanks to all the new subs. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe. When we hit 1,000, I will do a live build. So subscribe, share. I'll see you all next time. Until then, bye.